Good afternoon, everyone. I'm very honored to have Gail Holthaus here today to share her message of the great work that she's doing through the Holthaus Memorial Fund. I've known Gail for quite a while and her family, and she truly has a heartwarming message to give to everyone today, and the great work that her charity nonprofit organization is doing in our community. I personally want to thank her for the work that she's doing. The YMCA partnered with her, with the Holthaus Foundation a few years ago, and we were able to host one of the heart screenings last year, and it was amazing to see how many people attended. On your table, there's a flyer. You can read through that and see the date in February that we're having. Gail's just on a mission, and we cannot thank her enough what she's doing in our community. I will let her tell her own story, but I do want to personally tell her thank you on behalf of the YMCA for the traveling AED that she donated to our YMCA a few years ago. Our campers have the honor and privilege to go on field trips again after COVID. And when we explained to Gail, we needed a traveling AED. We want to keep our campers, those children, safe, and along with all of the camp counselors, even the bus drivers, safe, that they're taking us to these locations, to the zoo or Six Flags. And they donated this traveling AED. We have a special person dedicated each time that they are CPR trained. They know how to use the AED. They have a special backpack that recognizes they are in charge of that AED. And that is their responsibility when they travel with your children or with our kids that are in camp. So thank you, Gail, for that. It just feels so good when we send our kids out to know that they're safe. So without further ado, please help me give a warm welcome to Gail.
Thank you. Thank you for having me today. I'm not real good with audio visual, so this is my audio visual. This is a picture of my son, Greg. Greg, in 2013, he was a seemingly healthy 18-year-old. He played baseball, he played football, he was a very social guy, he was funny, he loved coaching. You know, things were going his way. He was in his first year at Rankin Technical College, and in October 2013, he went on a road trip with his friends, and they went to the University of Missouri, Columbia. And while he was there, he, I can only imagine, but anyway, he woke up very early on Sunday morning, and he told his friend he wasn't feeling well. So his friend showed him where the dorm bathroom was, and his friend went back to sleep. His friend woke up a few hours later, realizing that Greg wasn't there. So he went to look for Greg, and they found him blue and unresponsive on the bathroom floor. So, an 18-year-old is not supposed to go into sudden cardiac arrest. So that's number one. Anyway, so we formed the Greg Holthaus Memorial Fund right away. Actually, his brother-in-law, right away the day he died, we have to do something. And the mission originally was to fund athletics for youth, because that's what Greg was into. Well, we realized that when Greg, was found, Greg was by himself when he went into sudden cardiac arrest. And because of that, there was no one there to do CPR. So if someone would have been there to do CPR, it would have doubled his chances of survival. If someone would have been there with an AED, it would have tripled his chances of survival. And we also found out that Greg had an unknown heart condition called hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. And this was something that was definitely not on our radar. HCM is the nickname for it. It's an enlarged heart. So your heart is basically the size of your fist. And so instead of your heart getting bigger this way, the muscles get thicker and make it hard to pump blood. So those are the three things that kind of form our mission. And let me put Greg down. So the first thing that I'm going to address is we do CPR classes. Like I said, his chance of survival would double if someone would have been there to do CPR. CPR keeps blood flowing through your body, until someone can get there with an AED or until medical help can arrive. We do, like this year so far, we've trained 84 people in CPR. We do heart saver classes in the community. And I guess I forgot to mention, we live in Highland. And so a lot of what we do is geared around there just because that's where our contacts are. But we could change that if we get some good contacts in Edwardsville. So anyway, we try to do 2 youth CPR classes a year for young kids wanting to just learn how to get CPR, babysitting. A lot of times, most cardiac arrests that you might run across will be someone that you know. That, you know, not always, but, you know, a lot of times it is a family or a friend. So one of the other things that we do, and we probably do the most of, are AED donations. And I had to move Greg. So this is one of the AEDs that we donate. Actually, this one is going to this one was raffled off, and the winner is going to send. She's talking with someone who works with Paralympics. I don't know, we don't have all the details yet, but this one is going to be a traveling AED that will travel with a group of special athletes. So, very durable, all around. So in the past 10 years, we've donated over 100 AEDs. We've donated to the YMCA. We have a couple of traveling AEDs. We've done parks, schools, nonprofits. We also did donated one at the library in Highland where people can go and check it out. So if you're having a family reunion or a picnic or some big event, a festival, you can check that out and have it on site. The farthest one we donated in Illinois was Cypress, Illinois, which is near Kentucky. And the closest one is Holly's House of Hope, which is 3 blocks from my house. So we have them all over Illinois, or a lot of them in Illinois. We also have one in Tennessee, and we have a couple more out of state. So DefibTech, there are many brands of AEDs, and DefibTech is the brand we use most. We donate whatever what the need is. DefibTech is very good with nonprofits, and they they have some pads, pediatric pads that are going to expire within a year, and so instead of selling them, we're just giving them to the nonprofits. So you know, we kind of help that way. The cost for, so besides donating AEDs, we also have started selling them, and we don't really sell them for profit. We get such a good price with our nonprofits, with our nonprofit status, that if you looked up like our price for DefibTech AED and one on AED Market, which was just someplace we looked up online, the price difference is like $681.08. So what we've offered to businesses that would like to purchase an AED, if you'd like to purchase one from us, we'll give you that price, but we kind of ask that you make a donation back to our fund so that we can keep the good work going. So if anybody's interested in getting an AED for your business, just, you know, talk to me. The other thing that we do are the heart screenings. Like I said, Greg had an enlarged heart, and that was something, you know, we had never heard of heart screenings. We didn't know that this was a thing, that this was something that, you know, saved his life. If we would have known about it, I always tell people, and I probably shouldn't say this, but Greg was the youngest, so I had absolutely no excuse why I couldn't take him to a heart screening. We didn't, you know, we had older kids and younger kids. So when the older kids were older, I had toddlers. So sometimes that's hard, but that wasn't an excuse for Greg. He was the youngest. We had the funds, whereas when the oldest one was there, we were scrambling sometimes. So anyway, I know I would have got his heart screened had it been something that was available to us. We have a group that comes from Ohio, and they they're professionals. This is their job. They go from place to place, mostly in schools, and they do cardiac heart screenings. The group is called MCOR, and they use cardiac sonographers. So they have people that this is their job in the hospital, is to look at hearts. So there is a EKG and an echocardiogram that is done on each of the participants. The cost for that is $79, which is just, you know, cheap, you know. Greg's jersey number is 34. So we charge $34 for each heart screening, and we pick up the rest, a $45 difference. Of course, if a family can't afford that, or, you know, if you have multiple kids getting screened, it does get pretty pricey. So we, you know, we do have a program where we, you know, you can get your heart screened for free. Our next heart screenings, this sounds like it's far away, is February 18th at the YMCA. That's a Sunday, and this is for 12 to 22-year-olds. And then we'll have another heart screening on February 19th at Holly's House of Hope in Highland, which I happen to work there. And that's on President's Day, which they are closed that day. So anyway, so 1 in 300 of our youth have an undetected heart condition. So it's not really something that's rare. This is something LeBron James's son he would probably fall into the category of an undetected heart condition. This data is about a year old, but in 4 years through MCOR, we've screened 450 kids. And 23 of them have abnormalities, and 6 of them were actually life-threatening. So it's, you know, we're happy that we were able to find them for them. So anyway, so a little bit about the Greg Holthaus Memorial Fund. We when we started, you know, it must have been harder to get nonprofit status when we first started, because we just kept, you know, asking people, hey, can you help us? And nobody seemed to be able to help us get the nonprofit status that we wanted. In Highland, we have something called the Highland Area Community Foundation, and it's a foundation that has pass-through funds. So a smaller fund like ours, we operate under them. So they actually hold our nonprofit status, not us. That's why we're the Greg Holthaus Memorial Fund instead of foundation, but that's just, you know, that's just words. So the way we raise our funds is through, in October, just a couple of weeks ago, we had a wiffle ball tournament, and the majority of our funds are raised not so much from actual wiffle ball, but from the people that sponsored the wiffle ball. In January, we'll have a bowling tournament, and that is actually put on by one of Greg's friends. So anyway, so donations, of course, are always encouraged, because that's how we do what we do, is through our donations. Does anyone have any questions?